Very, very successful, I know. With the help of the community and the education, with what Rafi is doing now, would be very successful. The native trees should survive. We should preserve our very own native trees because our native animals that is found only in the Philippines, you know, we have very high endemicity of native animals. So they are depending on native trees. So thanks for Rafi for helping all these trees growing back.
And one can have a change of heart.
The most important thing is the love of the person in trees and the love of the environment and the love for everybody because everybody needs the oxygen that trees breathe.
We all benefit
Yeah,
from
we
it.
all benefit for it. So if you return back on some of the very unsuccessful project is the one with funding because mostly with big huge amount of funding because after the funding is gone off, then the work
They're
is
also gone.
Gone also. But if you have the lab, even there is no funding,
funds,
then
you will
the lab will
continue.
continue. Yeah, that's the most important.
That's
What Rafi told us.
Rafi really believed that, you know, us as citizens of this country has to protect and has to respect the environment that we're living in. We do exist with them, and so the reason why we have this particular program is because it's the only way for us really to bring back biodiversity, which means to say that if we're going to plant native trees, because that's what our advocacy is, there will be, you know, the birds will be coming back, the local birds will be coming back, the insects.
Guided by their philosophy, touching people, shaping the future.
We've also upscaled this by working with the schools associations. So we've sort of like franchised the whole idea of the nurseries and given them the modules in which for them to carry this forward in a larger scale. We've been doing this thing for 20, 30 years. Wow. We've moved away from just tree planting and ribbon cutting and all this sort of stuff.
So now you're doing tree growing.
Tree growing and community based. So it's not just us, it's we with the community.
Rafi has worked towards elevating lives through a comprehensive approach that champions best practices in the community development.
Our major partners in this program is the SAYAP, that's the Catholic Education Association of the Philippines. These are the schools, the Catholic schools in the country, and they are working with us, closely with us, to promote the planting as well as the maintenance so that we can see trees, native trees growing. So we teach them how to do a nursery for native trees, and then after that, we also taught them about how the way to invite the other public to join in the planting. That's why every year we have this, what we call the Run to Plant, okay? Which is in fact a gathering of so many of these public as well as private individuals and organizations, and we plant trees. And then after planting these trees, we also organize what we call Plan to Nurture.
With Rafi's campaign to plant more trees, not only in Cebu, but the whole Philippines.
Instead of us planting the exotic ones, we just have a lot of these native trees, which are very good.
I understand you have this book. It's called Native Trees in the Visayas. And I understand this is the first that is available. And that's the reason why. Tell us about the formulation and how did you put this together?
It's a long, you know, it's a long process. When we bring this all together, environment is our life. It's not only, you know, the earth, it's also the water, it's also the ocean, it's also the air that we breathe. So that's what Rafi has been advocating.
We hope that other giants in the industry would be inspired to follow this great green act of Rafi.
Getting everyone involved is important. So it's don't leave it up to Beaver, don't leave it up to corporations, don't leave it up to foundations. It's us, kita. And this is where we have a philosophy in the foundation which we call the bugsay, which is basically the paddle, which we all have. We have the capability to provide individual action and create results. And this is where together we can row in the same direction and move. So I think it's time to pick up the bugsay and start providing that effort and working as a community and less talk and more walk.
Going around the camp, we found out that the Ramon Aboitis Foundation has its own nursery for native trees and another vetiver grass nursery, which is highly recommended to prevent soil erosion.
Rafi has its own nursery. Tell us about that native trees nursery.
Yeah, Rafi is one of the pioneering institutions in Cebu that is propagating native trees, no?
Okay. Native trees here in Cebu.
Not just in Cebu, but in the Visayas. So we
Okay.
have dipterocarps,
Okay,
lawan,
so
something
we
like
are
that.
talking about indigenous trees
Yes, indigenous.
or endemic trees to Visayas.
Yes, we have a
Okay.
partnership with DepEd Cebu province,
Okay.
and we have also people's organizations. And with that, we also partner with the LGU, local government units in Cebu,
Okay.
the whole province of Cebu.
So there's a big partnership with the community.
These nurseries are part of Rafi's unique advocacy called the Greening Philippines.
It actually focuses on developing, maintaining, as well as creating more native forests in
Okay.
in the Philippines. But basically, we started off focusing from Cebu, although we
Okay.
have expanded already with some regional locations as well. And it's simply that because with the need of our times, especially in climate change and all these
Right.
global warming
Right.
issues, we really have to plant more trees.
That's right.
And yeah, native trees is the way to go, so that's where we come in with the Greening Philippines program.
The Greenin Philippines program, which stands for Generation, Redemption, and Expansion of Natural Resources Initiatives in the Philippines, is part of RAFI and the provincial government of Cebu's campaign to promote the value of environmental protection and enhancement towards a livable Cebu.
It's actually in response to all these issues of climate change and global warming, and there was really just a need to revive especially local species because it's an ecosystem thing. When you plant a tree, there are the birds and there are the plants, the flora and the fauna that should converge around it. So
Right.
you have to bring back those trees that were there when
The
before
natural
we destroyed
environment.
natural environment.
That's right. Now, how old is Greenin Philippines?
Greening Philippines is running 5 years. This is actually our 5th year.
Right. And how many species of trees do you have?
In our nursery, proudly, we have 270 and still counting.
That is why part of the Greening program is to seek, develop, protect, enhance, and co-manage denuded forest lands, brushlands, and degraded residual natural forest in the whole province of Cebu.
One of the things that really made Greening Philippines successful is the partnerships that we engage in. We cannot do this by ourselves. We partner with schools. Like we have an ongoing partnership with DepEd here in Cebu, covering around 1,000 schools, getting the next generation involved in planting the trees. We partnered them with schools in the provinces that have the area to plant. So we told them, collect the bottles, which is also a recycling and environmental thing.
That's right.
We'll contribute that or we'll distribute that to the schools and they will use that to plant the seedlings in their nurseries.
Part of the Greenin program of RAFI is the establishment of indigenous tree nurseries all over and outside the province of Cebu.
How many species of trees you have here?
So far, we have 279 species.
And these are mother trees.
Supposedly, because these are critically endangered, and some of them are seldom you can see here already.
Right, so the whole idea is you create the mother tree or you grow the mother tree here and then you spread it to the different partner institution.
With DepEd, yeah, because the program itself, because most of the schools, they don't have the nursery, so we provide the specimen species.
And as of the moment, they have more than 100,000 seedlings of about 140 native tree species and vetiver grass, which will be used to cover the forest and enhance natural biodiversity again in the places needed.
First, we have to remove the bottom portion of this pot.
Okay, so this is the two part.
We have to put this on the hole. Then we have to put some soil at the sides. Who will take care of this plant once it's there? So we have to put something as irrigation system using plastic bottles.
So this is the purpose of the water bottle.
Yes, yes,
It's
yes,
not for me to drink.
No, it's not.
Okay.
So we have to put a hole here using
Okay.
a 1-inch nail. Okay,
Oh,
sorry po.
okay. There we go.
Okay. Once it's closed, no water will go out. But
Okay, because it's tight
yeah,
shut.
but once we open it fully,
Ah,
it will go
look
flat
at this.
but we don't want that to happen because we want a drip irrigation system.
Right.
So we want to slow down that water.
So the water is dripping to the roots.
To the roots, yes.
Okay. So now you're going to bury both of them.
Yes.
Okay. So it will be watered. So you come back within 10 days.
Yes.
As the National Greening Program of the Philippines aims to reforest 1.5 million hectares of land to plant 1.5 billion trees by 2016, in our own little way, we at Ruby on a Road Trip supports and helps the National Greening Program by campaigning to every tourist to plant a tree in every place they visit.
Choosing to do something as simple as planting that one seedling, riding your bicycle or walking instead of taking your car, and veering away of any form of illegal wildlife trade are just a few of the many great things you can do to help the environment.
Change now and stand up for the protection of the environment.
That one act of kindness, no matter how simple it may seem, if you do it consistently, you can help Mother Nature big time.
I'm Ruby.
And I'm Paolo.
And I hope you would all join us as we go planting one tourist, one tree, and greening the Philippines.